warmed up. The early check-ins seem to be a lot less than they've been previously. And then I got notified by Randy and by, I think, Jerry, Bill. There was a few guys on sessions that said they're not going to make it tonight.
Roger, I'll have to pop on there. I had not been on there since I got back in the house. So, yeah, it's interesting. A friend of mine just reported in, who's in Western Pennsylvania, that you're only coming in 2 by 2 there, so not very well. And earlier I talked to that person on 40 meter, and I was coming in loud and clear, and of course I'm further away than you. So band conditions are just really funky all over the place in the last several days.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about band conditions. It is what it is. We just got to work with it. But at least he can hear me, so better than not being able to hear me at all.
Yeah, I was trying to explain that to some people earlier about what a good listen it is, how, people normally can talk to each other, can't, but then I'm talking to people that I normally can't talk to, so go figure.
Yeah. Okay, so now John says the live feed's up and it's working. John, it's a struggle. I had to restart that 5 times before it finally took off. YouTube is just such a pain. And John, just for your edification, obviously you're in Flint, so you're not going to be over the air on the radio. And you did give me a green report, which I'll read over the radio once the net gets started. I did get your call. I tried to call you back. Somehow I wrote the phone number down incorrectly, and I called some other guy. And I had deleted the message, so I couldn't call you back. But I don't shear sheep. When I did have sheep, which I no longer have any, I had hair sheep that shed in the spring. I never had to shear them. So I don't know anybody that knows how to do it. Sorry, can't help you there to answer your question. And again, this is W5DMH, and I'm taking early check-ins for the Midwest Prepper Report Net. Call now with your call sign, your county, and your name to Whiskey 5 Delta Mike Hotel. I think tonight's going to be a little bit interesting with all the events that have occurred over the last 24 hours. I'm sure there's going to be some folks out there with opinions. It'll be interesting to hear. I know some of us were sharing some opinions on the sessions chat. I would imagine there's going to be a few that are going to be vocal over the air. It'll be interesting to hear.
Yeah, roger that. What's interesting to me is, of course, the backlash has already happened. There was several attacks at churches today, and you probably heard about the one down there in Wayne. My big concern is that they don't charge the church security team member that stopped the bad guy, given that that's Wayne County. So I have a real concern for that. I'm hoping there'd be enough political backlash if they did to stop it. But he did the right thing. He stopped the threat.
Yeah. And I would imagine it depends. I didn't dig into that one. I heard about it, but I didn't dig into all the particulars on it. But there's a lot of wink, wink, nod, nod stuff over there in Wayne County. So I wouldn't be shocked if that got swept under the rug, as it should.
Yeah, for sure. You just never know in this political climate.
All he's got to do is say that he's trans. He'll be all set.
All he has to do is say that he was a trans pro-Palestine, and they'll probably give him a medal.
Yeah, exactly. And say that the shooter hated Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me reverse that. The shooter loved Trump.
I knew what you meant. You just having one of those nights with that tongue, and I understand how that unruly tongue goes sometimes.
You know, it's funny. On the previous net that I was on, that runs off of the commercial repeater, and I switched that over to 100% digital on June 1st. I increased the power on the repeater, and I changed the programming so the timeout on it is 3 minutes instead of 90 seconds. And I still ran over tonight and ended up with dead airspace, and nobody knew what I was talking about because I was not paying attention and kind of ran over. But fortunately on HF, I just let the smoke out of stuff if that happens.
Yeah, for sure on that one.
3-minute warning, 3-minute warning for the Midwest Prepper Report. Net call now with your call sign, your county, and your name to Whiskey 5 Delta Mike Hotel.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Bravo Sierra, Ontario.
Victor Alpha 3, Whiskey Bravo Sierra. That's a new call sign for our net. That's and generally and obviously Ontario. I don't know if you guys even have counties over there. I would imagine you do of some kind. Normally the format for us is call sign, your name, your county, and we don't care about state or country so much. I mean, as long as we understand what it is, and obviously Ontario's got a little bit different structure, but we're glad to have you. Could I get your name for the logbook?
My name is Sandy, and I'm in McKellar, Ontario, which is Parry Sound region.
Outstanding. I've been up to Parry Sound. I used to own a sailboat and sailed out of Port Huron and would sail up the Canadian coastline on occasion. So, yeah, been up that way. Beautiful country. Glad you could join us. Are you familiar with the format? Have you listened in before?
No, I haven't listened in, but you were asking for check-ins, and I'm an inexperienced ham, so I've only had my license about a year, and I'm operating a new radio to me, so I just thought I'd check in.
Well, fantastic, Sandy. So my name is Dan. My call sign's Whiskey 5 Delta Mike Hotel. We've been running this net for a couple of years now, every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Your signal is outstanding. You're coming in at basically at S9, but that's kind of the band conditions are weird tonight. So in normal conditions, you'd be 20 over. Your audio is outstanding, really good, strong signal. So you obviously have that radio set up well. The format for our net is documented on our website at offgridcoms.com. That's offgridcoms.com, offgridcoms.com. And there's a MPRNET schedule page, and on that page it details out exactly how the nets run. But basically, you give a red, yellow, green status for your particular county, and I'm going to break for a second. And that red, yellow, green status is predicated on the availability of food, fuel, power, medical access, all that fun stuff. And, green being everything is copacetic and wonderful. Red being you're on a full lockdown. You don't have access to anything. Typically, everybody reports green for their area. And the idea is we bring in people from as far east as Maine and as far west as Iowa, and obviously as far north as up into Canada. And folks report their status so we can get an overall picture of what the region is looking like for issues, shortages at the stores, high price fuel, and all that kind of stuff. So we've got you in the lineup. We'll call your name in a little bit, and you can give us a red, yellow, green status for the Parry Sound area. And we'll go from there. How's that sound?
It sounds awesome.
All right. Well, it's 7 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and launch the net. So welcome to the Midwest Prepper Report Net, or MPRNET. All licensed amateur operators are welcome to participate in providing a status for your county. When checking in, please provide your call sign, your county, and your name. The MPRNET traffic should be focused on red, yellow, or green status for your county as described on our website at offgridcoms.com on the MPRNET schedule page. After you complete your traffic, please return the net to the net control station, which tonight is W5DMH. I will now take short time in and out check-ins. Any short time in and out check-ins, call now. No short time check-ins heard, so we're going to switch over to regular check-ins. Any regular check-ins out there waiting in the wings for the MPRNet, call now.
Alpha Delta 8, Mike Sierra, Doug in Tuscola. K2AUW.
Doug, I got you, and then there was one that just came after you, and I couldn't quite make him out. You want to try again there, bud?
K2AUW.
K2AUW, if you got a name and a county and state for that call sign, please.
Yes, Cattaraugus County, New York, Western New York.
And what was your name, sir?
Charlie.
All right, Charlie, I got you in the lineup, and we're going to throw it back out there for any other regular check-ins. Any other regular check-ins for the Midwest Prepper Report Net? Call now with your call sign, your county, and your name to Whiskey 5, Delta Mike Hotel.
This is Mike in Lake County, Kilo Echo 8, Echo Mike Alpha.
Got you, Mike. Anybody else out there waiting to check in? All right, we're going to go ahead and roll up to the top of the net. It might be a short one tonight due to the hot weather. I think everybody's outside and enjoying the sunshine, drinking a lemonade. But we're going to start with Mike up in Mecosta County, Michigan, KDA YZV. Mike, what is the status in Mecosta County, Michigan this evening?
Thanks a lot, Dan. This is Mike in Mecosta County, call sign Kilo Delta 8, Yankee Zulu Victor. It is green in Mecosta County. Fuel prices have jumped. The trend is going up. Obviously, the political situation in the world is having an influence on that. The last price I saw in my little town was $3.23. I think that was yesterday. And hearing rumors that may go up some more. Everything else seems to be fine in terms of the local situation. The stores seem to be well stocked, et cetera, et cetera. And big shout out to my friend Mike up in Lake County. This is KD8YZV, back to net control, W5DMH.
KD8YZV from W5DMH. Mike, I've got you at a 10 over signal, and thank you for that green report coming out of Mecosta County. Your audio is outstanding as well. I'm going to go next just to kind of help Sandy out because she's going to go after me, and I don't want to put her on the spot without a little bit of being able to hear what we do here. So this is Dan in Lapeer County, W5DMH, Lapeer County, Michigan. I'm going to do a green report for Lapeer County. Fuel's at $3.35 a gallon. I was at the grocery store this morning, and shelves were well stocked. The only thing I saw shortages on were the baked goods, which that's not unusual on a Sunday because they don't bake anything all weekend, so it tends to disappear. So everything's wonderful here, a little bit on the hot side. And that is going to bring us down to Sandy in Ontario, Canada, in the Parry Sound area, VA3 WBS. Sandy, what's the status in the Parry Sound area this evening?
Well, our gas prices are $1.30 per liter, so that's a little different for American money, and you're going by the gallon. And I don't know the conversion. But anyway, I was at the grocery store this morning. Our shelves are stocked very well. However, prices are outrageous. 3 small ribeye steaks are $53, and hamburger is about the same, like ground beef. What else can I say? But that's about it. Our prices are outrageous here. They're pricing us out because they want us to eat bugs.
Well, not good news, Sandy. I understand it. We have the same issue here in the U.S. where the food prices are very high anymore. I don't think they're quite as painful as $52 for 3 steaks. That's insane. But it's still fairly painful. I don't buy meat at the store. I'm fortunate enough that I can buy my meat directly from the farmer. I buy a half a cow at a time. So I get my beef very inexpensively that way, but not everybody has access to that. But thanks again for joining tonight, Sandy. And we're going to do a round 2 after we get through the first round, and you'll have an opportunity to offer up any other information you might like to share. We're going to drop down to Doug in Tuscola County, Michigan. Doug, 88MS. What's the status on Tuscola County this evening?
W5DMH 88MS, Doug in Tuscola. Well, we're green here this evening. Diesel was at $3.45 a gallon. Stores appear to be, at the new normal stocking. They are doing a refit or retrofit or refurbishment of the local Walmart, so they're still changing things around a little bit. Other than that, I guess that's about it from here. Just keeping an eye on the news and see what's going to fall out, no pun intended. And with that, I'll turn it back to you, Dan. W5DMH 88MS.
88MS from W5DMH. Well, thanks for taking a moment to join us tonight, Doug. And we had you at a 5-over signal here tonight. And I'm going to jump back to Sandy in Ontario. I had you at a 5-over signal this time around. Still really good audio and a good strong signal coming out of Parry Sound, Ontario as well. That's going to bring us down to Charlie over in New York. K2AUW, I think I got that call sign right. Charlie, what is the status in New York this evening?
W5DMX, this is K2AUW. High of 96, almost 100% humid, terrible out. Just returned from a big box store. No problems there. Gasoline is $2.99. My garden, the seeds I think have rotted out because we've had so much rain prior to today. Back to you.
Wow, sorry to hear that about your garden, Charlie. 10-over signal coming out of New York this evening. I'm in the thumb of Michigan, and that's a very respectable signal coming out of New York tonight, Charlie. Appreciate that. And it's unfortunate about your garden. Here we kind of went the other way around. It was very dry here up until I think it was Thursday. We finally got some decent rain, and now the garden's going gangbusters. So fantastic for us. Hopefully that'll turn around for you as well, Charlie. Thanks for checking in and taking the time to join us. We're going to drop down to Mike over in Lake County, Michigan, KEADMA. Mike, what's the status in Lake County this evening?
This is Kilo Echo 8, Echo Mike Alpha, Mike in Lake County. We're basically green up here. It's dropped down to just a little under 90 degrees since the high of the afternoon. No problems with fuel shortages or food shortages, any of the critical things that we need every day. Gas was, I think, on the way up here, I paid about $3.27 a gallon. Not bad, but not as low as it has been in the past. Seems like just a week ago it was $2.99, but it's taken quite a jump lately. So other than that, nothing else to report. I've heard that there was a church shooting this morning in southeast Michigan, and security teams took the guy out, but it's not in the news. It's been kind of on the private QT. If there's anybody that knows anything about that, I'd appreciate hearing something tonight if you know anything more than that. Other than that, this is Mike up in northwestern Michigan, Lake County, KE8EMA. And that's my report.
KEADMA from W5DMH. Mike, I had a 10-over signal, rock solid audio coming out of Lake County tonight. Thank you for taking a moment to join us. Check the sessions chat later on tonight. You'll probably find a little bit more information about that Wayne County shooting. I didn't know the media was kind of sidestepping that one. So I've got a lot of folks I can get information from down that way. So it'll be interesting to see what we can find out. But again, thanks for joining us. And we're going to switch over to the live stream. And for those of you from out of state or new to the MPRNET, we do live stream it on YouTube. If you go to our website, offgridcomms.com, and you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the link for the YouTube And you can see the live stream and watch my ugly mug do all my transmitting. And we also have some folks that are radio free that chime in on the live chat here. So we've got John WA8ALQ, and he's in Flint tonight. And let's see, what's he reporting? Green and $2.94 a gallon for gas at Sam's Club, and it's the highest it's been in a while. And then we've got Dave and Sonia in Michigan reporting Lapeer County as green with gas at $3.35 today and diesel at $3.39. And I'm going to take a short break. And with that, I'm back, and that brings us to the bottom of round one. And I'm going to start out the top of round one. I don't want to get political about anything tonight, and I hope nobody else does either. Obviously, we had some major events occur yesterday, and the U.S. did some things that they did what they did, whether you agree with it or not. Now we have to pay attention to what the possible repercussions are. My sentiment there is we could be facing cyber attacks, retaliatory or otherwise, and it could be from Iran. It could be from other bad actors trying to blame Iran. But be prepared for that. Have a backup form of communication. Obviously, all of you do, or you wouldn't be here. And have a little bit of food setback, a little bit of fuel setback, just in the event that we suffer some supply chain disruptions. So with that, I'm going to roll back up to the top and go. Whoops, I'm sorry. I'm not going to roll up to the top. I'm going to roll back to the bottom and ask for any late lagging check-ins. Any late lagging check-ins for the MPRNet? Call now with your call sign, your county, and your name to Whiskey 5 Delta Mike Hotel. No slackers heard, so we're going to roll back up to the top, and we're going to get Mike from Acosta, KDA-YZV. Anything additional to share with the folks on the air tonight, Mike?
Thanks a lot again, Dan. This is Mike in Acosta, call sign KDA-YZV. Nothing else to add other than reiterating what you said. I'm not going to get into the politics of the situation. It's over. It's done. We can't take it back. So I agree with you. Everybody, watch your six. Just be prepared for anything. And because I had heard there were several church attacks today, be extra vigilant because there are a lot of bad actors out there that have been waiting for an excuse. So I guess take that into consideration. With that, back to W5DMH from KD8YZV and 73s to everybody.
KDA-YZV from W5DMH. Well, thanks for sharing that additional information, Mike. Appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to join us tonight. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping because I'm a little embarrassed to say that I screwed up. There's some boys that normally check in that couldn't check in tonight and messaged me. Mike, W8MMA, out of Berry County, reporting green for Berry County. Then we've got Barry, KE8QNR, I believe is his call sign, that's reporting green for Berry County as well. And then we got K8OB. No net is complete without K8OB, so this net will end incomplete tonight. Bill down in Macomb County reported green as well, and he had to work tonight. I feel bad for him because I don't think they have air conditioning where he works, but hopefully he'll be able to find a nice cool place to sit or work or whatever. So that gives us a little bit more input around the state, and it brings us to Sandy in Ontario, Perry Sound area, VA3 WBS. Sandy, anything additional you would like to share with the folks on the air this evening?
No, other than to say that I'm sorry that things are kind of questionable in what the recent events are. Of course, Canada usually follows the Americans, and the Americans are our best friends. So I'd just like to reiterate that Americans are definitely our best friends, no matter what our governments do. So that's it for me.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Sandy, and thank you for the kind words. I think we view Canada exactly the same way. I've spent a great deal of time in Canada over the years and worked with a lot of Canadian folks over the years, so I can definitely appreciate your words. Hopefully you can join us again next Sunday. We do this every Sunday at 7 p.m., so please join us if you have the opportunity, and that's going to bring us down to Doug in Tuscola County, 88 MS, Doug, what is the stat? Whoa, I already asked you what the status is in Tuscola County. Instead, I'm going to ask you if you have anything additional to share with the folks on the air tonight.
W5DMH 88 MS. Well, I've always got something else to share, Dan. Yeah, it's some interesting things about what happened in the Middle East last night. I'm hearing a lot of that may be kabuki theater. I'm sure they did what they did, but the things aren't always what they seem to be. The other is the big threat over that way also would be closing the Strait of Hormuz. That will tie up 20% of the oil in the world. So chances if that happens, the price of the barrel of oil is going to go at 100 or above a barrel. Other than that, yeah, I did start to see a bit of the Wayne church shooting earlier, but yeah, they are sure slow rolling that. So it'd just be kind of interesting to see who they attach to that. But apparently, one of the church elders and security guard took the guy out. Security guy got a bullet in the leg for his trouble. So I guess that's all I've got for round 2, Dan, and I hope everybody has a great week going forward. W5DMH 88MS.
88 MS from W5DMH. Well, thanks again for joining tonight, Doug, and that additional information. We appreciate that. We're going to drop down to Charlie over in New York, K2AUW. Charlie, anything additional to share with the folks on the air this evening? I think we got a negative copy on Charlie, and we're going to drop down to Mike in Lake County, KEADMA. Got anything additional to share with the folks on the air tonight, Mike?
Did you say Mike in Lake County? It was hard to hear you there, Dan.
Yes, sir. Mike in Lake County, KEADMA.
Tis I. Nothing new to add. Thanks for the additional comments on the church shooting. My personal church does not have a security team and don't want people that aren't former police officers or something like that, and I find that very short-sighted, especially today in today's climate as things are going downhill worldwide. So anyway, other than that, nothing new to add. This is Kilo Echo 8, Echo Mike Alpha, Mike up in Lake County in the northwest corner of the Lower Peninsula, and I'll be signing off at this time. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Dan, for running the net.
KEADMA from W5DMH. Well, thanks for finding the time to join tonight, Mike. We appreciate that. And that brings us down to the end of round 2. We're going to throw it out there for any really late, really lagging check-ins. If you're out there waiting in the wings and you would like to check in, call now with your call sign, your county, and your name to Whiskey 5, Delta Mike Hotel. No additional check-in, Serge. So that brings us to the end of the weekly MPRNet. I want to thank everybody for joining on the live stream, on the sessions chat, on the air, and from 2 countries tonight, which is awesome. Outstanding. Thanks for joining tonight. And I will be clear upon your finals. This is Whiskey 5, Delta Mike Hotel.
This is TD8YZV, clear, 73.